the debut of Real Ice in a LAN environment here, well, on the RLCS LAN environment, alongside Maru and Tenhao. This is going to be hype.
And Jack wasting no time. 5 seconds in, Dignitas came to play.
Look at that. Immediately, off the bat, Jack says, you're going to leave that backboard open. I'm going to make sure you think twice about doing that again. Instant punish and first goal for Dignitas.
And now Scrub Killer underneath with the flip reset, and he just pushes that through. The defense didn't have an answer.
2 goals for Dignitas off the bat. Look at that flip reset. Defender going flying high there from Tokyo. We knew this would be an onslaught. I mentioned to watch out for offense. It's going to be suffocating immediately. I didn't think it would be kickoff after kickoff.
We understand there may be some technical issues on our side here. We apologize for those. Appreciate all of your patience as we watch on as Dignitas in it early here. 2-0 up on Tokyo Verdy. Jory is now. Can't get by Maru, so apparently Jack will bring it back to Scrub Killer. Scrub for Jorius, looking for another, and he just missed high. They're human after all. Jack adds another, and in less than a minute, Dignitas has solidified their stance in game 1.
Yeah, you see Real Ice jumping for this. He knows the capabilities of this Dignitas team. He knows that they're looking for these highlight plays, those passes down center there, and he tried to get in the way, but he was just a little bit too under on his read. But this is it. This is the download for Tokyo right now. They're watching and learning, and I'm hoping they can start to take some of this into play.
Maru with the clear out around the corner, but he eats a demolition for his efforts. Scrub Killer out, and Jory is trying to run interference, be a disruptor. Scrub Killer comes back into the play and scores. 2 goals from Jack, 2 goals from Scrub Killer. Dominance from Dignitas.
And you're seeing a lot of pre-jumps, even Tenhao there, a lot of pre-jumps. I think it's just a lot of respect for how fast Dignitas is. They know that someone's going to be there for a shot, but that also gives Dignitas a chance to pull back and allow that player to commit and make a mistake. So this is going to be a hard back and forth in figuring out which balls you should be pre-jumping for and which ones you should be waiting for that shot to happen for Tokyo.
The good news for Tokyo Verdy is it's a best of 5. If this continues, it will be over fast. The bad news for them is it's a best of 5. They have a very limited amount of time to make adjustments. What a shot out of Scrub Killer back on LAN.
A banger of a shot, precise as well. As you also see Jorius on the other side hunting down players. There is no stop to the relent from Dignitas.
Scrub Killer got a hat trick. Jorius, playmaker. Dignitas. Incredible. It's been a process for this Dig squad, Leaf. We go back to the preseason, the We Play Invitational, and a team that kind of made their big debut together. No coach. They get swept by Vitality. And I'll admit, as big of a bandwagon Scrub fan as I've been, I think he is absolutely on the rebound here, and he is indeed back. My first thought was, well, this whole no coach thing's sure working out, boys. And then what they do later on in that same event, they came in and they beat Vitality, knocked them out of the whole darn thing. Then they go on to win a regional. Tell you what, Dignitas is changing the game here in the RLCS.
Oh, they really are. I mean, Scrub immediately called out his faults, the things he needed to work on. You know what he did over those next 2 weeks after calling it out? He worked on those 2 things. And once that happened, the team just looked more solid than ever. So they know what they need. Some teams definitely know that they want a coach on board, and it definitely helps a lot of teams. But if you think you can do it without it, then why not go for it? And Dig has proven they can do it.
Contrary to scrim results, by the way, Ground Zero has taken a game off of Envy. Oceania had struggled almost unanimously in their scrims leading up to this. But they are level over on the main stream, twitch.tv/Rocket League, as we continue to play on here. This is the longest stretch without a goal in this game. Scrubkilla adds his 4th.
And that's a 3-man passing play. One up to Jorius, who takes it off the backboard. And that's something that Tokyo, going into game 2, still a lot of time left in game 1, but something into game 2 that they're going to need to start to realize. Watch that backboard. A lot of plays been out there. But then also, don't turtle too much. Make sure you got someone out there committing so you're not getting shots just outside the box there from high from Dignitas. Lots, of course, to learn and download here. I'm sure it won't be immediately fixed in game 2 or anything, or if at all. But there's a lot to take in, and I think that's what this team in Tokyo Verdy is looking for, is just as much information as possible.
Passing on point out of Dignitas and the defense as well. Even up 6 goals, not letting Tokyo Verdy get out of the starting blocks. Realize, launches this over, and Jorius still intercepts out of the corner for apparently Jack. And now Tenhau to sweep this ball away. Every time they try to look downfield, there is an armada of yellow coming their way. That's just off the mark. But another one brought in front. Still cleared out to the center line, but no further. Final minute here of game 1 before this might mercifully come to a close for Tokyo Verdy. Dignitas not letting them breathe. It is suffocating pressure even at the end of a blowout in game 1. Jory is the only one still alive. He gets back using all of his boosts, and still Jack brings this across and in. They got 2 demos, Leaf, and couldn't do anything with it.
I have a feeling right now the comms of Tokyo Verdy is, oh my gosh, they're so good. Like they have to be taking this with a smile on their face. And I just from what I've seen and I've met, realize I know that these players definitely are going to have the drive to win, but the respect to say, okay, Dignitas is a team that has a bit more experience than us, and they're showing it right now. So Dignitas, there's no reason to let up, Stacks. There's no reason to slow down. You're at LAN, the first LAN in 2 years. You go full force the entire time you're there this week.
Absolutely. You pretend that goal differential matters, and you do not let up for a second. 7-0. Dig in game 1. Magic number there, Leaf, 99. 99 seconds was the longest stretch between goals for Dignitas. They scored 5 seconds.
I honestly just seen the setup there and seeing the players.
Ooh.
Wait a second.
Realize.
Let's
Tokyo
go.
Verdy's got a lead.
Realize, setting it off the bat. Maru with a pass up, double T as a way to make your first goal at an RLCS LAN. Realize, setting the first one in for Tokyo Verdy.
So it took 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Tokyo Verdy out of the gate now. How long can they hold this lead on Dig that scored 5 seconds into game 1 and added another 6 seconds later? Thrown in front, Maru didn't get a clean clear. It's an open net, and that's how long. 25 seconds into the game, Jorius got his first goal of this series.
Glory was short here as Dignitas brings it back to a tied game. Tokyo Verdy, as you said, holding the lead for just maybe 25 seconds. But hey, I bet you it felt like a great 25 seconds for Tokyo Verdy.
And now they go back to the grind. Do they have an answer? Tokyo Verdy stuck in their own zone again. Realize. Looking for Maru, who's going to be looking for Realize. Why not beat the hot hand? And he's denied right at the last. Here comes Dig again. That's a good touch by Tenhau to get out of trouble. But now apparently Jack, oh, he did not leave it for Scrub. And that slows Dignitas down a little bit. And I didn't want to bring this up, Leaf, because it's the LAN. There's no way it's like every other tournament we've ever seen. But how often do you see it? A blowout in game 1, maybe you develop some bad habits, get a little too confident, and then the opposition brings it right back at you, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. These guys are actually pretty good. Like Realize, couldn't get one down there, but we're seeing signs now. Tokyo Verdy bouncing back after a tough first game.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing here. This is just pure aggression. You've seen those infield passes from the team. They're starting to get off that backboard. Even realize there, lots of times in that first game, we seemed just waiting for a shot, respecting Dignitas' speed. But now, they're getting out there. They're taking initiative to start playing that ball. Get up into the air. We know how to play Rocket League. And they're starting to realize that here in game 2.
Maru set up Realize for that double in the first minute. Trying to help Tenhau get his team out of jail, and they do. Maru over towards Realize. Dig has to know that's going to be the plan for Tokyo Verdy. Give the ball to the man and let him work. All the way across now, Scrub Killa. Got on his horse to collect this ball. Apparently Jack coming on. And I think Scrub Killa following through there. Kept that ball neutral to the benefit of Tokyo Verdy as Scrub Killa gets back for the save.
Close. You're hoping that 50 maybe would have pushed through. Would have put Verdy in the lead. Dignitas did manage to stomp that one out. And a center there. You thought maybe the defender would have been able to push that to the corner, but no. And there's the punish. Dignitas with the lead.
Jorias from Jack. It had been Jack from Jorias for most of game 1. Getting ugly now. 2-1. Dignitas back in front. They've had most of the pressure. Tokyo Verdy has improved, but not enough and not soon enough. Apparently Jack pinches this across and Realize we'll have to collect after Maru burned a lot of boost to come up empty. All the way across for Jack again, bringing it back central, and that's easily cleared by Maru.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of a miss there. It was a clear potential for Verdy, but Tenhau wasn't able to connect with the ball. And those small things are going to give a lot of space to a team like Dignitas. So you want to make sure those are cleaned up. And you'll start to notice you'll get punished by teams here at LAN if those are happening.
Back into the zone. Maru in a touch of trouble. Tenhau trying to help him out. And he does get out of the zone with 90 seconds left. Better situation now for Tokyo Verdy. Trying to get back into game 2. It is within reach with 1:20. Tenhau for Maru. Jorias up so fast though to meet him. Now Scrub Killa calls off apparently Jack. But a big clear downfield. Maru all the way across. Can he get to it in time? No. Booster concern. This drops down though. Tenhau can't get to it in time, or can he? Yes, he can. No! How did they keep that out?
A hair kept that one out. It was in the net from our perspective, but Dignitas managed to hold the lead somehow in that final minute of gameplay of game 2 as Tokyo Verdy tried their best to tie it up, but it was not enough.
Heartbreak for Tokyo Verdy in the final minute. And now Jorias up over 1, but Maru clipped him. So no clip for Jorias. Down to 25 seconds. Scrub Killa picks the pockets, and it's 3-1. That's going to put away game 2.
Yeah, 25 seconds left. A 2-goal lead is looking good. Realize a rough touch out with no follow-up. Handed that one to Scrub, and he said, "Thank you very much. We will take a win on game number 2, putting themselves at match point. Unless Tokyo can turn it around here, but the chances are, Stacks, not very high."
Got to get out of their own zone first, which has been a laborious effort. Jorias up to the sky. That's where Realize rules. Nothing doing here. 2 seconds left. Dignitas, 1 for the road. Tenhau says no thank you. And apparently Jack wanted one more, doesn't get it. They go 7-0 in game 1, 3-1 in game 2. Match point now for Dignitas in this opening round of Swiss. Tokyo Verdy starting to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, I have to commend Tokyo Verdy on this one. If you're fans, you're going to love what you saw coming into game 2 because they sped up huge. They started to take initiative and dive towards that ball. They started making sure that there was less space out in front of the box of their own defensive half. They were coming off the backboard. They were doing everything they could to make sure that they picked up the pace a little bit. I think they realized They were giving way too much space around that midfield to Dignitas in that previous match, and that's why it was so suffocating in game number 1, and why it wasn't as terrible for Tokyo Verdy coming into game 2. I really love to see those changes. I still don't know if they're going to be able to come out on top here with even a win. Dignitas still looking solid. They're still connecting with really fast passes outside that box, but I loved the changes from Tokyo regardless.
If you see me looking over this way, look, there's not a mouse on my desk or anything, and I'm watching overtime between Envy and Ground Zero. Match point for Team Envy. About a minute and a half gone by, again over on the main stream, twitch.tv/Rocket League. Ground Zero trying to do Oceania proud. Tokyo Verdy trying to do the whole APAC region proud. They had a lead in game 2. Can they build upon that? Under pressure early from Dignitas now in a third game they absolutely must win, else they drop down to the 0-1 bracket here in Swiss. And Dignitas smells blood in the water. Ground Zero, I believe, took that game just now, and they're going to game 5.
Man, I'm just so excited that we're at LAN right now. Well, we're not, but like it's happening. There's so many games, and the players are on location. This is just so exciting.
It's madness. It's everything we've wanted out of a LAN except one thing. Fans. Soon TM, we all hope. Maru bouncing this out of the corner. Jorius with Tenhao waiting on the backboard for him. Jorius is still way up, way downfield. Dignitas confidence at an all-time high here. They have to be very careful. Games do matter here in Swiss. The sooner you get out of these rounds in matches that, let's be honest, you should win, obviously the better.
Well, they've held off for the longest. We see now, Stacks, we have generally seen a goal by this time on the scoreboard in both game 1 and 2. So I can't tell if this is Dignitas chilling out or this is Tokyo Verdy doing a lot better, holding off. Incredible save from Tenhao to keep it 0-0.
Yeah, kickoff goals have been ever present throughout this whole series, as you mentioned, especially at the start of games. It was apparently Jack, 5 seconds into game 1, realized scoring the double 8 seconds into game 2. Great opportunity for Dignitas coming out of the zone, cut off by Maru. Now Jorius with Jack to his right, looking for a pinch on Zero boost. He's got to get back and kind of made things a little awkward coming out of the corner. So here's apparently Jack, big boom back downfield. That's going to hit Jorius. Scrub killer running interference. Got a piece of Tenhao and Dignitas in front.
Finally, though, a goal goes in at the halfway almost mark here for Dignitas. Tokyo Verdy has to be happy that every game progressively has gotten better for them. They've held off Dignitas longer, and this is all they need to start getting that momentum. Even if they can't take a dub here against Dignitas, they can use that going into their next matches. Swiss, you got 3 and in 3 and out, so you got a lot of games to play. Just as long as you're getting better every single game, those wins will start coming.
Maru forces this through, and Scrub Killa will bring it out to the corner. Intercepted by Tenhao, but Jorius oh so fast. That's that field vision, the field IQ, allowing Dignitas to move towards the ball just a little bit faster. Oh, great drop down pass for Scrub Killa. Got a second touch to stay with it. There's apparently Jack for a 2-0 lead.
And there it is. This is what we expected the scoreline to look like a little more. Look at that recovery from Jack to keep himself in the play off the wall. A great touch out. Let his teammate take over, and he repositions to be that cleanup. Those players are just phenomenal on Dignitas.
You've got a deadly duo in Jack and Jorius that we wondered if they would even stay together or if they would disband and try to start from square one. And then the signing of Scrub Killa. And all the questions. Is he back? Is it the Scrub Killa that bounced around from team to team to team? Or is it the Scrub Killa that handed out the medals on the World Championship stage and then claimed one for himself just a year or so later? looking like we're seeing far closer to the ladder right now, here in our first matchup in the Swiss round.
With that final minute approaching, Dignitas up 2 goals and at match point. Tokyo Verdy's debut at an RLCS LAN here is definitely looked better as it's gone along, but definitely they have been given quite the challenge to start their run off.
I mean, everything is a process. And for these, what we call quote-unquote minor regions, getting their first look at the RLCS proper, getting outside of their little sandbox to play against the other teams around the world, it was always going to have an adjustment period. Scrub Killer will pop this away. And you can see how far back Tokyo Verdy is. Even down 2, they realize they just can't go all out offensive, else this really gets out of hand. Great drop down pass here though. Maru, 10 now at a tight angle. Can't get around for a centering pass. Apparently Jack cut it off, now realize. Up to the heavens. And blocked again by Jorius. Everything has looked basic out of Tokyo Verdy because Dignitas has been so fast to everything. 10 seconds left as Dignitas is going to put the finishing touches on a masterful opening round where they only allow 1 goal. They outscore Tokyo Verdy 12-1, and Dig starts 3-0.
To be honest, I'm just happy that Tokyo Verdy got 1 goal. And it was realized. I'm just.
And it was a good one.
And it was a double tap too. It was a great goal from a pass from Maru. I am just happy that they got on the board. I'm happy that these boys are getting the experience. I'm happy that we're getting to see how good Dignitas really is when they're just playing against all those